Hi viewers, as you can see we're camping. We've got away for the weekend, tried to get away from the rat race in Melbourne. We've come down here, it's around about mid-spring. Now we've come down to a place in Gippsland. I'm not going to give a location away because I don't want it to get wrecked. And there's a nice stream going through where we're camping. Now I'm just hoping, I've actually never even been here before, but I'm really hoping there's some Spiny Crays down there, and we're going to find out because I've got some nets. I brought some with me. I also bought a fishing rod, I snuck that in too. But as much as the missus is going to love that. But so we're down here and we're just going to try and pull up a few big Spiny Crays. Hopefully we can get some because I forgot the meat and I've had to use my lamb chops. so we better catch some so we can eat tonight. I'm just going to show you how I've got a few traps here set up with these nice, beautiful, succulent lamb chops. Now I've been using a bit of this cord. It's called VB cord. You can hear my dog in the background. Now it's quite a fine, strong cord. A lot of people use it for this sort of stuff. You got to tie. I'm using the ones with the metal mesh bottoms. They're a lot stronger. If you can use your standard drop hoop yabby net, but they're not nearly as strong because they've got like a cotton bottom. These are nice. They're steel. They're strong. Crayfish can get very big and they've got big nippers and they'll cut right through it. So that's the same reason why you've got to make sure you tie your meat or your beautiful yummy lamb chops. I'm actually starting to get hungry. You've got to tie them in really tight. So this VB cord is really good for it. I don't know why they call it VB cord. I guess it looks like the same colour as a VB can, but as you can see, that's not going anywhere. Traps are set. Now it's time to find out if there's actually any crayfish in the waters down here. We're down here in South Gippsland. That's about all I can tell you. Dinner time.
Good. Gonna put some nets in the water.
Great family activity.
I'm family.
Just watch out for the wombat.
Family. I'm my sister's brothers and me.
Just come down to the riverbank, or the stream bed, or whatever you'd like to call it. Now I'm just looking at locations where I think it's going to be suitable for the nets. We've got a log in the water here. There's a submerged log under the water over there. There's some reeds up there, and there's a whole tree down just up a little bit further. So I'm not just going to dump them all in the one spot. I'm going to spread them out right through the river, and we're going to try and really hedge our bets and try and pull one up for you guys. Now, seeing there's a lot of snags in the water, that's some really good blackfish habitat too, so I'm definitely going to be bringing the fishing rod down with a few worms on it later. Alright, so well, nailing right here is going to be the first spot. So basically, make sure you're not tangled up so you don't throw yourself in the water. Make sure the dogs don't eat the meat out of your nets. And hold on to the rope when you throw it. Basically just throw it like a frisbee. Make sure it lands flat on the water. It doesn't get any better than that. Now it's a good idea to tie your rope to something. So I'll just tie it to some grass here. Now it's pretty thick grass, so I don't think it's going to get lost. And it's tied up nice and tight. Alright, we're going to stagger these nets all through the river now and give it probably an hour and a half and then come back and check them. I reckon he's done that before.
Are we going to be on TV?
Just tie her off. That's it, mate. Beautiful.
Are we going to be on TV?
Alright, Phil, your turn, mate.
We're going to be
I reckon we'll just pass that log over there, buddy. Yeah, mate, get it in there, buddy.
What in between?
Yeah, actually, in between the two snags there. Beautiful. Time to go do a bit of bush bashing. When walking down tracks like this, it's really grassy and long. If you want to scare snakes off, just stamp your feet on the ground. That will scare them away. Well, we can only hope now we actually pull a few up because now we've used all our dinner. I need to catch some. Great thing about this sort of fishing, especially when you're camping, kids love these sort of activities to see, you know, the sort of wildlife that's in the area, even if you are going to eat it. Now, having said that, it's always good to keep a fishery like this sustainable. That's the exact reason I'm not giving away this location. There are plenty of spots around Victoria where you can catch spiny crays, but you've got to find them. I mean, that's half the fun. Going out and researching and looking and hit and miss. I've never fished this spot before, so I don't even know if there's, I mean, I know they're in here, but I don't know if there's actually any here. So hopefully it hasn't been fished out, and hopefully there's a few here, because I haven't had a good feed of crayfish in a long time, and I normally let them go, but tonight we decided if we do catch any, I'm going to try and eat some, and we'll show you that a bit later. But anyway, it's one of those things. There's a lot of rules and regulations behind freshwater spiny cray, crayfish, Murray cray, yabbies. I'm going to put that on the screen now, some of the rules and regs. The best way to find out rules and regs in your area is just look up the Victoria Fishing Guide. You can get it in any tackle shop. You can order it online. You can look it online. You can download it on your phone. So you've got no excuse. So always best to check your local area and what the rules apply to that, because you don't want to get caught doing the wrong thing. Well, it's been a couple of hours and we have been patiently waiting. So this is the time to find out if there's any in the river. I've got bubbles in, yeah. Is that a good sign? It is, mate. I'm just going to bring them really quickly. You've got to be really fast. Nothing. Nothing? Bugger. Right. That was 1, 0. Number 2. Nope. Nothing. There you go. That's not good. Let's check number 3. All right, number 3. No. This is why I didn't want to give the location away, because you never know if it was going to fire. Looks like it's already been fished out. I've got one over there, so lucky last. Well guys, that's about as real as it gets. We didn't get anything, and that happens to all of us. So we're going to try up the river in another couple of different locations. I'll still leave the nets in here for a few more hours and see if there's anything around. But yeah, nothing. I was really surprised. I actually thought we'd get something out of here. But like I said, we're going to try it further and see how we go. Okay, so I just said, look, I was a bit disheartened because we didn't get any before, and I said I'll come down and quickly check the nets. And lo and behold, I don't bring the camera with me, and we got one. Spiny cray. You don't want to get those nippers in your hand, let me tell you, because they hurt. So I'm going to go check the other nets and see if there's any in them. Alright, so we got one, and that's the first one I checked, so we need a bucket. Mitchell, how? Oh, Phil, yeah, can you grab us a bucket? Yes, I used a cracker too. Yay! Look at the size of him. That is an absolute beast. It hasn't got any eggs, but we have to measure it to see if we can keep it. And the cameraman has just dropped. That's okay. We've all done it today, mate. It was your turn. There is a size limit for these guys. Nothing if it's 9 centimeters from the bottom back of its eyes to the base of its tail. It's legal. and if it's any bigger than 12, it's got to go back. So anything under 9 or bigger than 12 got to go back. That's for this area. You've got to check your regulation guide, what's local to your area, to find out the exact rules on these sort of fish. Crustaceans, I should say. I'm not fishing yet.
Yes, another one.
All right, now this is what we wanted. These are good sized crayfish. Now, I've got to check for eggs. There's probably a better way to check for eggs, because he doesn't want to let go of that, or she. No eggs. That's fair game. We're just got to make sure we check the size, and we will do that once we put them back in camp. Then we'll put them in a big tub of water, keep them alive. The ones that have to go back will go back. We're going to keep a couple for a feed, because we had to use tonight's dinner to catch these guys. Normally I would throw them back. And here comes our bucket. Now we've got 2 good sized ones here. I might go get the rest of the nets and bring them down here, because the other spot's been pretty woeful. Thanks, Mike. No worries.
Oh, they're battling.
I don't plan on falling this time. Oh, you're going, there's bubbles going on everywhere.
Bubbles?
When you see bubbles, you know there's some down there, because that's what they're breeding. Yep.
Oh, yes. Awesome.
Look at that.
That's a good one.
Checking it for eggs. Doesn't seem to appear to have any eggs. We have another big cray in the net.
Oh, do you need a bucket?
Yeah.
Yeah, bucket.
Oh, that silver bucket. Yeah, come on, let go of the meat. He doesn't want to let go of the meat. Obviously, the lamb's working well. He's enjoying my my $14 a kilo lamb chops.
Off the lamb.
Yeah. Put the lamb down and back away, buddy. All right, well, he's going to go in the bucket with the rest of them. Nada. Oh yes. Oh, he's only a little one. Yeah. All right, so we've got a little one here. He's just like a big yabby, but he is a spiny cray. But he's only a little guy. He doesn't really want to let go of the net, and they never do. Come on, mate, let go. I do believe this one's female. I usually get it confused, but I'm pretty sure if there's 2 dots in the middle, they're a male. But I'm not 100% on that. So anyway, he's only a little guy, so he's going straight back in. The thing I love about this sort of fishing is the expectation you get when you're pulling up the net to see if there's something in it or not. And there's been a lot of disappointment this weekend, I must admit, but we've had some highlights, so that's good. Now we're just going to go over with Sean a little bit about marine safety and what you need to be doing on the water to do the right thing.
Maybe flares. The only flares I know about is the ones people used to wear in the 70s, but...
Look, there's a lot of missing.
Always joking.
Don't tell him that. Don't say that. I hear a lot of people tell me that they've got out-of-date flares, they've got 3 or 4 packets left on the boat, but apparently that's a big no-no.
look, to the letter of the law, they're an out-of-date pyrotechnic, and they can delaminate, they can cause a mess, and they can cause issues.
Yep.
And there's a lot of discussion about people saying, look, I keep my just out-of-date flare on the boat, you know, so that I've got double the amount if I need them. And look, there is some merit around that.
Yeah.
But bear in mind what a flare is for. A flare is generally used to pinpoint where you are, especially if you're in a big group of boats or you're well offshore. You might only have that one opportunity to attract attention, whether that's a plane flying by or another boat flying by.
Yeah.
You may not set a flare off just willy-nilly. You may just wait for that opportunity moment to set it off, so you'll actually, because it only lasts about 30 seconds a minute if you're lucky. So if you've got an out-of-date flare, I can tell you from experience that they don't always work. And if you've got that one opportunity to attract attention, and it fails, and the plane goes like that, and then by the time you get your next one out, you've missed your opportunity. So there is some merit in saying, look, pop a few off, a few of the old ones first. But maybe if you're, you know, there's lots of people around you, but if you've got that one opportunity, you would always go the in-date flare first, because you've got a much better chance of it working.
It's actually dangerous to keep out-of-date ones on your boat.
It is dangerous, yeah.
They're very
so if you want
unstable.
2 sets, buy 2 sets of in-date.
Yeah, of course. Or if you just want to throw them in Chris's backyard when he's just gone to sleep. That's
exactly right.
Always another.
Just don't take him to the soccer.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. I knew there was going to be a soccer game joke in that. Excellent. So that's a great tip. That's some really good information for you boat users out there.
Excellent.
Well, good morning from Newgie, Victoria. I am 100% sure that wherever you are right now, you're a lot warmer than I am. I'm shivering, I'm freezing cold. It's one of the coldest days on record in Victoria for the last few months. And I decided to come to a very cold place because I'm clever. So I've come here this morning and I'm looking for some trout, some wild trout. I've never fished at Newgie before. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find the fish myself. I'm going to have to read the water and figure out where they're sitting, where to find, go for a bit of a walk and an adventure, and try and find a couple of trout, and hopefully teach you guys a thing or two about finding trout yourself, so when you do come down to places like this, you can do it too. So today I'm using a worm, I'm using bait fishing. Yes, I know, lures are better, etc, but everyone has their own way of fishing, and so far I've only used lures in the rivers and streams on Ozfish, and I wanted to give bait a try, just to show the guys out there that do like to use bait, just how you present your worms or whatever bait you're using, where to place them, and just how to fish with bait in general, because a lot of people don't understand that fishing with bait in streams is a whole different world to chucking out a sinker or running sinker rig out in the lake and hoping for a fish. It's a bit of an art to it, and I'm going to teach you guys that today. So I won't waste any more time. I'm going to get down to the water, which is just there, and try and pick up a trout or two. Okay, once again I found myself on the back of a bubble trail. This one's got a nice piece of log there, which is really good because a lot of the trout like sitting behind them logs, giving them some shelter. But because this place has been getting a lot of attention lately, a lot of the fish have either caught or spooked. But I'm going to try my best. I do love the place, that this little run here, I do love it. I'm sure there was at least a trout there at one stage. I hope there's one now, but I won't know until I flick the worm in there. Look at him, he's so cute. Here's our first little brown trout for the day. Little tiny one. And the beauty of stream fishing is size isn't really that important. Sure, it's awesome when you get a big fish, but just putting the effort in and getting little ones is just rewarding. Now I want you to take a look at where I caught him. I just flicked that worm onto the back of them ripples and let it drift down. All I really do is cast out to where the ripples begin, and as the worm floats down the bubble trail, I just keep slowly winding my reel to take up any of the really slack line. If that worm stops or changes direction, I just reel it in a bit and tighten the line up, and you'll know pretty quick if there's a fish on it. The reason I do this, is because these bubble trails are the feeding source for these fish. They just sit on the back of them, they wait for their food to run down towards them, and they just pick them up as they go along, which is why I'm standing on the back of it. You see a lot of people walking from that direction down and reeling up because the water flowing gives their lures and such better action. But the problem with that is that's the direction the fish are facing, and if they see you, there's a good chance they're going to not really want to hit it unless they're really aggressive, which they are this time of year, but I like to play it safe anyway. And that goes a good start, but I do want to find something bigger. That being said, I still love catching the little ones. Now those of you who saw our Rubicon River episode will recognise this technique. I'm using it again here, and I'm showing it to people that may not have seen that episode. So what I do in these rivers is I walk quite high up the bank and walk down along the parallel with the river, looking down at the water. By coming up to a high place like this, I get a much better viewpoint of pools and bubble trails and things like that, and I know which spots are worth stopping and fishing and which spots I better save my time and just keep going past. So what I'm looking for is deeper water, even if it's just that deep. A little bit deeper with some nice bubble trails going through it, something to break the current up like a log or a rock. And I just try every single one of them spots and hope that fish come out of them. They don't always come out of them, but I try my best, and that's just how you do your trout fishing. You try every pool until you get a few fish. This one hit it a lot harder. As I was watching my line drift down, it just shot out in a straight line, and that tells you straight away that a fish is taking the line. He's a little bit bigger than the last one, but he's still not a big fish. Come here, buddy. Much more colourful though. Check out them red spots. Once again, I'm doing everything I can to get these fish back in the water ASAP. We're not stopping for any photos or anything fancy today because this is a fragile fishery. We're going to keep it safe and get these fish straight back in the water. That fish once again sitting right in the middle of this bubble trail. He hit it right at the end of the current there, which is normally where they take the bait. And off he goes. Well, that concludes my little trip down to Newgie, and it was hard. It was hard fishing. It's this time of year this place gets a lot of attention through the end of May. Beginning of June, a lot of people come down here, so the fish in general are pretty tricky to get onto. I was pretty optimistic getting here this morning, but it turned out to be even harder than I thought it would be. I only managed 2 fish, as you saw, and only saw one other. But one thing I can tell you about this place is that out of all the wild, nice trout streams out there, this one's pretty easy to fish. As you see, I'm not wearing waders. I don't have 15 tackle boxes on me. All I've got is gumboots on, and I've only had to use them once. So it's pretty accessible, even for kids and that. And bait fishing seems to be pretty easy. Lure fishing works just as well, sometimes better, depending on the time of year. Look, it is a hard place to fish, but you've got places like Tarongo Falls just nearby, and just beautiful scenery all around you. So it's one of them places that even if you come down there and you catch nothing, you still enjoy the day out because the scenery and everything is just great. It's really nice. So I definitely recommend coming down here for a nice day out. Don't have your heart set on catching 50 fish. You might get a couple, you might get a few more than I did. It all depends on the day. But good luck, and just enjoy the scenery while you're here because it's pretty awesome.